I can still feel the day I decided to betray him. It wasn't some sudden, reckless impulse. It was slow, methodical, a careful drift into a dark place. It started as a quiet voice inside me whispering that I deserved more. I told myself it was harmless, that what he didn't know couldn't hurt him. I was wrong. Daniel was never loud. He didn't fill a room with noise or demand attention. His presence was steady, calm, grounding, a quiet anchor in a chaotic world. For 6 years, that calm was my comfort. But one day, it turned into my guilt. It began with innocent curiosity, messages that became confessions. Confessions that led to secret, late-night meetings. Mark, the other man, made me feel seen, desired, or maybe I just wanted to feel that way. I convinced myself Daniel was too distant, too predictable, too calm. I told myself I needed excitement, a spark I wasn't getting at home. And so, I crossed a line I could never take back. The affair lasted 3 months. 3 months of lies that felt freeing, but always carried the smell of fear. I learned to smile while hiding the decay underneath. Then one Tuesday, I came home early, careless, thinking I could balance both worlds. The house was dim, the scent of roasted chicken thick in the air. Daniel sat at the table, phone face down, a single plate in front of him. For a moment, I thought he'd been waiting for me. Then he looked up, and I saw it in his eyes. Everything had changed. "You're home early," he said softly. No accusation, no curiosity. Just a quiet statement, like reading the weather. I laughed, nervous, brushing my hair back. Yeah, traffic was light. He nodded and motioned to the chair opposite him. "Sit." My heart hammered in my chest as I obeyed. He slid a folded piece of paper across the table. I didn't need to see the contents to know what it held. Screenshots, messages, proof. I opened my mouth to speak, but he raised a hand. "Don't. Just listen." His voice was steady. No tremor, no tears, not even anger. That calm terrified me more than shouting ever could. "I spent weeks wondering what I did wrong," he said. "Maybe I wasn't affectionate enough. Too quiet, too steady." Then he paused, and the truth hit me. "Your betrayal isn't about me. You were chasing chaos. You wanted noise, so I'll give you silence." I choked back words. "Daniel, please. I made a mistake." "No, Emily," he said, leaning back. "You made a choice." His voice held no tenderness. It was final, each syllable cutting me out of his life. He stood and went to the counter, picking up a small envelope. "You'll find your things in the guest room. Movers will take the rest tomorrow. You'll have what you need financially, but you won't have me." My chest sank. "You're just a throwaway. 6 years." He turned slightly, face unreadable. "You already did." That night, he stayed in the master bedroom. I lay in the guest room, listening to the sound of his measured footsteps above me. I wanted him to yell, to make me feel small, to justify the pain I'd caused. But he didn't. His silence was sharper than any punishment I could imagine. The next morning, he was gone before I woke. No note, no goodbye, just absence. And in that cold, quiet house, I realized the worst consequence of betrayal. It wasn't losing the person I cheated with. It was losing the one who stayed silent long enough to watch me destroy myself. The days that followed were like walking through a world stripped of sound. Every corner of the house was a memory I couldn't escape. His coffee mug, the faint scented cologne on the couch, the framed photo from our Seattle trip. He didn't block me, rage online, or call friends. He simply vanished. That silence was both mercy and execution. I tried to reach him, calls, texts, emails. Nothing. A friend said he'd taken time off work to focus on himself. That phrasing, so casual, cut like a knife twisting slowly. Meanwhile, Mark, the man I'd risked everything for, began to fade the moment Daniel was gone. What had once thrilled me now felt shallow. He looked at me less with admiration and more with possession. When I cried, missing the quiet stability I'd taken for granted, he said, "You chose this, Emily. Don't start regretting it now." That night, I packed a bag and left Mark's apartment. I didn't go home. I went to my sister. She said little, just opened the door and whispered, "What did you do?" I collapsed on her couch, sobbing until nothing was left. Between gasps, I confessed the words I'd never spoken aloud. He didn't yell. He didn't fight. He just left. That was what broke me. Months later, I saw him at a small cafe near our old apartment. He looked lighter, clearer, his hair shorter. Across from him sat a woman I didn't know. She laughed, and he smiled in a way I hadn't seen in years. I wanted to apologize, but he noticed me first. Our eyes met for a moment, and I saw everything. Recognition, forgiveness, distance, no anger. Something colder. Peace. He nodded politely, as if acknowledging a stranger he once knew, then turned back to her. That's when I understood the full weight of his punishment. He didn't destroy me with rage or revenge. He simply moved on, letting time and silence erase the version of me that once mattered. I left the cafe, wandering aimlessly, seeing my reflection in every window, a ghost refusing to fade. I remembered all the times I wished he'd been louder, more dramatic, but his quiet had always been his strength. Now it was my haunting. Years later, people ask why I never remarried. I tell them I'm focusing on myself. The truth is, once you've loved someone who gave you peace, chaos never feels like passion. It just feels empty. Sometimes I replay that last dinner in my mind. The cooling chicken, the folded paper, his steady voice. You made a choice. How easily I took a good man for granted because he didn't shout, didn't fight, didn't make me fear losing him. But I did lose him. Not in a storm, not in an explosion. Just in a single quiet moment of truth. And every time I hear silence, I remember him, the man I betrayed.